Okay, you guys, come on. Let's film this. Gonna make a video for the stores to say Happy Thanksgiving. And of course, kids are super cooperative. Happy Thanksgiving! Hey you guys, it's Shawn and family here in Connecticut. Just wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. I am so incredibly thankful for you. We feed each other's families. We put food on each other's tables. And we just want to wish you happy Thanksgiving this time of year. From our family here in Connecticut and everybody else at Lovesac headquarters who is so grateful for your efforts day in and day out, we just want to wish you happy Thanksgiving! Thanks you guys, you're the best! You're the best.
You guys
I'm so tired of this.
Marley, you still All right, this is Vince, creative director at Lovesac. Vince is the man with all the brilliant ideas. Anyway, we're about to film something strange, and he tells me what to say. So gearing up for our weekly Tuesday rally.
Rock and roll every Tuesday, except for this song.
Who is this? Kelly Clarkson! All right, y'all, Kelly Clarkson, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up! Thumbs up! Thumbs down! Up or down, Maggie? Down, down, down! Hillary, I think you've lost. Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson just got a big thumbs down. Everybody in, everybody in. And from all of us, we are so grateful for your, what am I going to say? Hey America, it's Thanksgiving. I appreciate you keeping us in business. We're grateful to be in this wonderful nation. And from all of us here at Lovesac HQ, we just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving!
I just decided to do this with my parents this past weekend.
So I want the best impression of your father putting together Sactionals and cursing doing it, because I know you can. I know you can do it. I want to hear this accent.
What the hell's going on with these bloody Sactionals? I can't figure it out.
Today I'm passing the sack to Doreen.
Doreen! Wow. What's that up? What's it gonna be?
I would push you to get the chicken casserole with the veggies on the side.
You don't even have to push, Maria. You just tell me how it is. So I've got Rob Griffin here, right?
Yeah.
Who invented the Genie can, which is this amazing invention. You know, I drink my Poland Spring. I go to toss this. I zap it on the way in. I barcode it, and it adds it to my grocery list, right? And I could do that with everything in my kitchen, makes it super easy, and makes a grocery list for me, or it could even reorder it for me on Amazon or whatever. Anyway, Rob's asking me some great questions about, you know, how to get to the next step, fund the business, not fund the business, go VC route, take the money, not take the money, bootstrap it. I would say to most starting out entrepreneurs, especially if you don't have the cash already to fund it yourself, go find the money. Money right now is cheaper than it's ever been. There's more of it out there than ever for lots of reasons that I won't go into. It's really not that hard to get. It's not that hard to find. Yeah, you might end up paying. You might end up, regretting it someday, thinking back like, oh my gosh, I only have X% of my own company when I could have had this. But think how a few $1 million would change your life. And then imagine when you have your next good idea, how much more ready you'll be to just go do it. Because your next one you can fund yourself, or at least you can fund it past stage 1 and 2 yourself. And then when you go to raise stage 3 money, you only have to give up 20% of your company or 30% instead of, half of it, or maybe even, more than that. So I don't know if that's good advice or bad advice for you. It's just my advice, and I don't know, how do you react?
I appreciate it. I think you're dead on. I mean, it's always better to have, 5% of something than 100% of nothing. Right?
Yeah, well said. It's better to have 5% of something than 100% of nothing. And there's a lot of startups out there that have 100% of nothing because they're afraid of the boogeyman. And I've raised money from the friends and family rounds to the angel rounds to the VC rounds to the private equity rounds. And even though certainly I wish that I could have gotten Lovesac to this size, right? But and done it all myself. First of all, that's impossible. Could have never happened. And second of all, I would much rather be at this fun, cool, growing place with, hundreds of employees, building cool stuff, making cool stuff, and with the promise of potentially making some good money someday, than still in my, parents' basement cutting out beanbags one at a time, or even, running 1 or 2 stores. And so go get the money and go make it happen, especially because he's in tech. And his device, someone else could come up with something similar, and there's already devices out there that in some ways are similar. And so really he's got to get out there and get users and build a following before something else reaches critical mass ahead of him, right? And so if you do have something where time's on your side, like let's just say you have a really good restaurant, well, maybe you can just run it for many, many years and get a second and a third one all on your own steam, and that's fine, because no one can really replace your really, really good restaurant if they love it. But if you have anything with outside time pressure, I say go get the money, hit it hard, go make some money, and then by the way, you're ready for your round 2. You're ready to go build another company with the money that you made off the first one. You think this is reckless or not, this is my advice, right? Because at the end of the day, I've talked about this before on this vlog, like what is your worst case scenario, your real worst case scenario? And there are people who have no support, no kind of safety net. Their family's gone, they just have nothing, right? Like, and it would be very reckless, and maybe they have a family, they have children, they have to feed, whatever. It could be very reckless for them to just go charge it. But if you have any kind of safety net around you, you have family around, you're not actually going to physically starve if the whole thing craters and you have to start over, or maybe like if you have a college degree and you're able to go find another job or whatever it might be. Then my advice is always just go for it. Go for it all the way, go for it big, because it'll probably work. And it probably won't work the way you think it will. Like for all you know, your device will turn into something that has nothing to do with the garbage can, but it turns out that everybody wanted it in their automobile and to do something, to like remind them to change their oil. And who knew, right? And before you know it, Jiffy Lube buys you. Okay, that's probably not going to happen. But my point is like, I had no intention when I made a big beanbag, and also when I went and opened really expensive stores in malls to disrupt the couch industry. I didn't even know I was going to invent a couch, and now my business is 80% couches, right? And so you never know what's coming. But until I was years into it, I couldn't have even had that vision. And then even after I invented the couch, I didn't have the vision for what was going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? It just had to come. But none of it would have happened if I hadn't have, that's the title of this vlog, gotten off the couch, made the first beanbag, and just went for it. So he's got big things coming his way. It's going to be amazing. He's going to build this big business. Or he's going to try and struggle along on his own. So my advice is go find the money, go for it. And you won't get that same advice from everybody. There will be people who will tell you like, no, it's too early. You don't want to give up a big chunk of your company. But by the way, it's probably going to take you 6 months or a year to go get that money. And so you better get started now. Rob just asked another great question that I think a lot of people want to know the answer to. Why is Lovesac in Stamford, Connecticut? So actually, it's very relevant to this conversation. I won a reality TV show on Fox, right? And Richard Branson invested, along with 2 other VC firms, invested in Lovesac about $10 million right after I won that show. Got us all kinds of press. We had like a dozen stores or something, and we were based in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I'd grown the business. But when they invested $10 million, you know, they had an opinion of the idea that, hey, you really want to grow a big retail organization that can go nationwide. You want to have great talent, great management. You should probably either be near LA or New York. You know, just there's so many more people there. There's so much more talent, so much more access to capital, to press, PR, exposure, etc. And so at the time we considered LA because Virgin had a headquarters in LA that I was working out of as president of Virgin Worldwide after that show, and it's certainly closer to Salt Lake, and also Lovesac just feels kind of like a California company. But we also looked at New York, and New York, of course, was crazy expensive. But New York won out for lots of reasons. We moved, and instead of planting our office in Manhattan, which would have cost a fortune, we planted it here in Stamford, which is just 45 minutes out of Manhattan. We were close to that original VC, who, by the way, is still an investor in Lovesac. And that made the relationship easy. It made you know, future rounds of funding easy. We're close to them. You know, we can maintain a good relationship. And in fact, we have had amazing access to talent. We have amazing talent upstairs, and I'm very, you know, grateful for that. So it was a great move for the company, a great move for me. Discussion of how much to raise, right? And I really like Rob's answer. You know, you just want to ideally raise enough to kind of get you to the next stage, whatever that is, and you have to identify that for your business. Put some financial projections together. In his case, it might be a year, right? And it might. So let's pretend it was $1 million, right? That a business would need to not just do this first round of 1,000 units, but get the round after that on order and cash flow the thing, and hopefully ride whatever PR wave you can of getting the thing started up. And you know, that's what you want to do. You only want to raise it kind of enough, and hopefully with a little cushion, to get you to that next round. Because every time the earlier you raise money, the more expensive that money is, right? Like, because while you're pre-revenue, or even just small revenues, when you raise money, it takes a huge chunk of your company, and it just does, because you're not worth anything yet, and you're not going to be worth something for quite a while in many cases. You're only worth what someone will pay, and go charge it and make it happen. And if you do a good job and you kind of hit your numbers and do what you say you're going to do, you're not going to have trouble getting the next round. Obviously, if you don't do well, then it gets hard. But if you believe in it, you just got to go for it, you know. But you don't need to raise more than that, you know. And there are different levels of investors for every round, for every stage of companies. But here's one last nugget of wisdom from my experience. There is this, you know, raising $1 million or less, you know, around $1 million or less is it's all hard to do, by the way. Raising money is just hard to do, but it's doable. There are people out there, you can put together 5 or 6, you know, 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 angels, and they can each put in $250,000 or whatever it might be, or 50,000 here, 100,000, cobble together $500,000 or $1 million to go start a business, right? Especially if you're smart and capable and well-dressed and well-spoken and you have a good product, right? Like this guy. But that gap between like $1 million and 10 is really hard. You know, so you got to be careful, because like your next round, Rob, you know, I would say you want to raise enough money to get you to where your next raise needs to be like 5 million, or ideally 10 or more, because it's hard to raise $2 or $3 or $4 million. Sometimes 5 is okay, but between 1 and 5 at least, it becomes very tricky. Because the reason for that is because just to do all the lawyer work and paperwork and due diligence and everything that a fund would have to do to invest other people's money, in other words, their limited partners' money in your company, costs so much to just do all that due diligence that it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it to just put in $2 million. You know, they want to put to work their money, right? They have money parked from their limited partners that has to go to work. It has to go to work earning interest. Now, it's not real interest. In this case, it's earning value. But to only put like $2 million or $3 million or $4 million to work for all the fees and effort they have to go through, and then they have to deal with you and help you and manage you, that's just not worth it. But if they can put $5 million or ideally $7 or $8 or $10 million to work, it becomes a lot easier for them. And there's a bigger market for that.
Right.
So you want to raise enough money to get you to that level. And then you raise more, and then you raise more. Then or hopefully you're just so profitable you don't need to. Good luck, Rob. You're going to kill it.
Thank you for your time today.
I believe in you. Check out the Genie Can. The Genie Can.
GenieCan.com.
GenieCan.com. Real deal. All right.
You ready?
Something creative.
Creative? Did you know you could draw a turkey with your hand?
Like that.
What?
If a turkey looks up when it's raining, they'll drown. If they have their mouth open.
For real?
Swear to stack of
You seen this
sactionals.
happen, or?
I've witnessed this.
What?
I witnessed this.
You've literally seen a turkey just like keel over.
I grew up as a poor white guy on a farm, and I saw it happen.
Really?
On a North Shore.
You asked for this. I didn't.
All right, for my next victim,
Next victim? No way, man.
Todd. What do you do?
I'm here to spread the love, man. Here to spread the love.
I'm not sure I like the sound of
I
that.
think you do. My passion is for appreciation.
He has a passion for appreciation. This is the one of 99. This is the only person, I'm not even kidding, who's stood in a Lovesac line and gotten, grand opening free stuff from us and actually sent a thank you card. Not just a thank you
Historic!
card.
It's,
Yes.
It's pretty sad.
Brownies.
That's,
So, what's your story?
so it all goes back to Vegas. Vegas, my friends.
What doesn't though? What doesn't though, Todd? Let's be honest.
This is my first.
Whoever said
my first
everything,
and only trip there.
right? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Not sure with this story.
Not true. Period.
So I'm on my friend's, bachelor party, and I'm there with my brothers. I made it one of our. We used to go on these vacations every year, me and my two younger brothers, and we're in the Aladdin Mall walking around. I see Lovesac, never heard of it. Walk in, sit in the super sack, instantly fall in love. Decided maybe I shouldn't just buy it on the spot. Next day I went back and I bought it.
Thing we talk about a lot on this vlog, and something I'm very passionate about, is your purpose, your why, and identifying it. Too few people actually have. I feel like identified that. And my friend Todd here, who does this really cool, what do we call it again? The business.
Send out cards,
Send
baby.
out cards business where, it's all about gratitude, and it's a very easy way for individuals or businesses to send out cards and say thank you in very clever and creative ways that can be systemized and still personalized. Anyway, he was mentioning that he recently shared his why, so I thought I would capture that. So what's your why?
So I'm going to go for it here.
Go for it.
So it all started back in September 14th, 2002. Went to a wedding with my parents, my brothers, and probably had a little too much fun. And I realized at that point that I wasn't able to have that much fun anymore, and that I needed to make some serious changes in my life.
Meaning like you felt like a stiff, or what do you mean?
Meaning I had way too much to drink, and I shouldn't be drinking anymore.
Got it.
So I realized I wasn't going to do it on my own, and I found recovery, and ever since then I've been sticking with it. But one of the things that I've heard time and time again is that someone who remains grateful will never leave recovery. They'll stick with it. So when this business was presented to me, it didn't become obvious at first, but it became a tool and a way for me to stay grateful on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and just stay in gratitude as much as I can. And now, of course, encourage other people, other businesses to also share in that gratitude feeling, because when you are in that mindset, good things happen.
That is amazing.
And there's just, I mean, like I told you, I lost my son last year. It's been 11 months, and the Hope After Loss group kind of worked right into that because I had already joined a group where I knew that no matter what life gave me, I was going to be able to deal with it. And I never anticipated having to deal with this. But here we are 11 months later, and I truly believe that there's more good that has come from it than bad. And that if I choose to look for good and I choose to, try and help others look for good more, the world will just be a better place. I mean, it's so easy to be negative. It's so easy. It's so natural. And that's why this business has become so important to, and even more important to me recently, because I want to look for good. I want to enjoy my life because I got a pretty damn good life. So
there you go.
There you go.
The concept of figuring out what you're passionate about, figuring out, what drives you, and then finding a way to align that with a business, a way of life, a way to make money. That is truly rare. Most people, aren't self-aware enough to figure that out, or don't take the time. And then two, aren't lucky enough to put themselves in a position where they're able to make that alignment. So it's super relevant to our topic today on Textbook Tuesday. I don't know if you've...
I don't know about Textbook Tuesday.
But Simon Sinek, The Power of Why, and it's something that you know about Simon Sinek.
I know.
There you go.
I know the book. Heard it a couple times.
And the idea that it's really meant for businesses and organizations at first. Like identifying why you exist, and it's very powerful if you're able to do that. It's something that we preach endlessly here at Lovesac, and we refine our why, and we're always preaching it. But I think it's something I believe in planning your own life as well, is being able to identify your purpose. And I review mine every single day. And it doesn't mean that I'm always behaving properly, but I try to align my business, my life, my behavior with that purpose. And when you're able to do it, it's very powerful. So take the time to figure it out. Most people can't even take the time.
Do it.
Anyway, thanks for sharing. That was amazing. Unpredictable. I meet these young entrepreneurs with their own ideas and their growing businesses, and Todd was just in here sharing his business with me. Maybe he would love to see Lovesac be a client, but more importantly, he's a good friend and a big supporter. Owns a bunch of Lovesac stuff, which is cool.
Growing by the minute.
And look at that, man! Like, you can never stop learning. Let's see. There it is. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, these two conversations with these young entrepreneurs really made a great segue for today's Textbook Tuesday subject, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. If you have not read this book, it must make your required reading list. But if you want a shortcut, just Google this guy's name, or go to TED.com, TED, and search for Simon Sinek. It's probably the most watched TED Talk of all time, The Golden Circle, otherwise known as The Power of Why, his book called Start With Why. He makes the argument that every great organization in the world has done what they do in a backwards way to other organizations. And I'm not going to get into how the Golden Circle works because he does such a better job at explaining it. But the crux of it is that great organizations, just like great people, know why they exist. In other words, their reason for being. This is not their mission statement. This is not what they're trying to accomplish. This is their reason for existing. And it drives them and their followers and their employees to do great things. And this TED Talk that Simon Sinek gave is recorded poorly. It's some TEDx event in Canada or something like that. Terrible audio. But it's one of the most watched TED Talks of all times because it's so powerful. And I'm like a broken record. I've shared this 100 times at our Lovesac Manager Fest and whatnot. But Todd's comments in particular really made a great segue to to talking about the power of why. And my encouragement to you is, again, we've talked about this before on this vlog. If you have not done it, you've got to watch that TED Talk and then sit down and figure out your own personal why. You've got to figure out, what it is you're on this planet to do, what makes you the most happy, and then if you're really lucky, align your career, align your choices to support that purpose, and you'll never work a day in your life because it will be fun and fulfilling. And so that's our Textbook Tuesday message. I'm not even going to do the injustice of trying to summarize how he gets to his postulate, but TED Talks, Simon Sinek, The Power of Why, The Golden Circle, you've got to watch it. Have a great Textbook Tuesday. Keep reading. It will change your life. I want to hear it. You can't just make an assumption. What was this assumption I just overheard?
What is birthday pie?
You're presuming that people would get sick of what?
Pie?
Who gets sick of pie? Nobody gets sick of pie.
I don't know. After Thanksgiving, you're pretty full and you might be
Doreen
sick
said
of
we
pie.
shouldn't have birthday pie.
No such thing as birthday pie.
That's right, it's birthday cake. Well, that was quite the day. Look what I got from one of our fantastic attorneys here at Lovesac. Why do the attorneys have all the money for stuff like this? Nick's tickets. And there's something to tie back to my discussion today at lunch with Rob, the Genie Can entrepreneur. It really is the great conundrum of entrepreneurs who don't have the money to necessarily build out their company on their own. And by the way, most people don't. Even most millionaires, when they're building companies, go out and raise money because to put all their own money at risk, why do it, right? And it's hard to give up pieces of your company to grow it, and you always wonder how much is too much, and there's no right answer. But I will tell you this, again, while there is a time to bootstrap, save every penny, and absolutely hang on to all of your equity, there's also a time to grow your business, go to the show, and get your business to a formidable size using other people's money. And it becomes a lot of fun because the business grows and becomes of a certain size where it can pay you a salary, where it can give you health benefits, employ lots of other people, as if that didn't matter, and even score you the occasional cool event, Nick's tickets, opportunity to travel, all those other kinds of things. It doesn't suck.
40 horse, number 8, Justin Holiday replaces
So if you haven't been to a game at Madison Square Garden, all I can say is that it is different. Like if you take a look at the lighting in this place, it's like going to a show. It's different than like other arenas that are just like giant, cold, concrete, whatever. And by the way, they have an amazing cheeseburger, like amazing. People go crazy for free t-shirts, it's insane! So there you have it, long day, end up back on the couch, even though I'm telling you to get off the couch. Thanks for all your support, appreciate you even tuning in, listening, putting up with me. Subscribe, be a part of it, share it out with a friend, get off the couch, go make something happen.